Most of it's on the outside, but I'm going to step out of the way and I can show you one of the little surprises that we found today. There's a hole right there. Where is it? Right there. There's a hole. So in the last episode, we talked about the nogging, and we talked about that these bricks go right through to the outside. So when they removed the skin of the building, the sheathing on the outside, we can see the other side of the bricks, and they're loose. You know, they've been in there for a while, and a couple of them fell out. So luckily we have a mason coming at some point who's be able to fix that from the inside. But most of the work's taking place on the outside. So we're gonna go out there and we'll check out what's going on the outside. So hang with me.
Just temporarily patch it together. All right. I am underneath. I'm gonna get this out.
Here goes nothing.
Come on.
Yeah.
That way. It's coming right now. All right, it's coming right now. Good.
Yeah, that's all more than 10.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. This probably has
So as you can see, there's a lot that's been happening here. The siding has all been removed. We're down to the sheathing, and the plywood this plywood over here was from a previous repair at some point. Not sure when that took place, but that was discovered under there. We knew there was some repair that had been done. The piece of plywood that's over here is covering up the window that we took out, which I have a little bit of video of that coming out. We took it out before it fell out. But if you notice, there's the hole that I was mentioning from inside. We'll get a little closer in a bit. But also today we've had the furnace guys here. If you remember, there was a big chimney stack right here. That was removed earlier in the week, which meant that we had to figure out how we were going to vent the furnace. So there's a temporary pipe right there that's venting the furnace for now, and we're working on a long-term solution for that. So that's the wide shot of what's been happening. Here's the outside of the hole right there. This is the outside of what we were working on earlier. So you can see that's the other side of where we just were in the dining room, and the window that was removed there. But the interesting thing I want to point out is over here. So building sits on a foundation, and on top of the foundation is a sill, and then the structure is built on top of that. Post and beam is no different. So what you see right here that's the sill, which sits on the foundation. This is the corner. This is the front of the house. This is the side where we just were. This is the corner right here. You can see down below there's a little bit of an air gap under there that's not supposed to be there. That's rotted. And then the post that sits on top of it. However, it's not, I know it looks worse than it really is. Trust me when I tell you this. The experts have assured me that it looks worse than it really is. So they will clean out this piece right here. They'll clean that underneath out, and they'll put a block in just to prevent that from shifting anymore. They'll clean off some more of that rot there, and then same thing down here. There's another gap right here where they'll put a piece in. You see there's a post. That's one of the wall posts right there. They'll put a piece in that hole right there. then they put this wood hardening stuff on it that seeps into all of the pores of the wood and hardens up all the wood. This is all insect damage, by the way, which you'd think that after 400 years, this is what we're going to encounter. But overall, they were very pleased with the structure and how it has survived all this time. The other issue that we were afraid of was right in the area where the meter is on the wall. There was a bow. The wall had seemed to have bowed out, which can indicate that there's a structural issue. But what they found was it actually wasn't a structural issue, it was a debris issue. I don't know if I can get close enough in to see. There's a gap right here behind the wall. And over time, the nails that hold these sheathing boards on, you can see one right here. You can see one of the nails right there. There's been several iterations of nails, so now you can see they've come along and they've added some screws to hold it all in. They have big Ungawa screws that go in there to hold it all together. But what they had found was, and you can see here, you see down here lower where I was talking about how the sheathing comes down and it's like it sticks out right here. So over time, things loosen up. The boards on the outside of the house, for whatever reason, the nails give way, the board loosens up, and the mortar that you see crumbles and falls down behind the board, which pushes the board out. And so that's what was causing the bulge. They've been able to, just by cleaning that out and using those big screws, I thought they left a box of screws behind. Oh, they did. They're 3-inch screws. They were able to pull that wall back in, the exterior wall. The structure is fine. I haven't put a level on it, so I don't know how level things are, but the structure is fine. There's a little bit on that post right there. Not sure if you can see a little bit of rot there. They're gonna expose that next and see what's there. But the task today is to fix the sheathing, cut away what they have to, and replace it with plywood, much like they've done there. They'll piece it in. There's some holes up above that they'll work on fixing. And then we have some weather coming, so they're gonna tarp this side of the building. And then obviously they'll remove that when they come back to work. Well, the good news in all of this is it looks worse, looks much worse than it really is. It always at the beginning of the project, the side that they're working on was expected to be the worst of the 4 sides of the house. There was a very large pine tree that was preventing the sun from, drying out the side of the house. And water is the enemy. Water is the enemy of wood. And over years of just buildings being saturated and not completely drying, it rots, and then it's susceptible to insects doing their thing, doing their insect thing. So we're sort of left with what we have. But like I said, it looks a lot worse than it really is. The guys, the carpenters that are here working today, they work on these old houses all the time. And they have assured me that they have seen much worse. So we're not talking about needing to replace sills or any of the structure. It's really all cosmetic. So that's a relief. The furnace is a different story. The furnace, I was hoping that in this episode we were going to talk about power venting, but we're not going to talk about power venting because we haven't finished that project yet. They came here, and because, again, the quirkiness of the house, they weren't able to do the typical, of course, right? They weren't able to do the typical vent. So they've had to order a special part, and once that arrives, then they'll come back hopefully next week, and they'll install that, and then we'll be off and running. So we have a temporary fix on that, which keeps the furnace going and keeps the carbon monoxide out of the house, which is a good thing. So, all right, I guess that's the update for now. They're going to continue working on the outside. And then once this side is done, they will, oh, the window, I forgot to mention the window. They took the window out and they're gonna use that as a pattern for the molding and the other things that are around it. And they'll rebuild the windows and hopefully be able to use the same sash. So that'll be good. All right, so that's the update for now. Thanks for tuning in. You know what to do, subscribe, like. Your comments are great. Keep the comments coming. I'll do my best to answer them. And we'll see you next time.